Yo, 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 we do it all, family. Back again with another banger. So we do it all straight from the garage. I got this beauty here. It's a 2013 Volkswagen CC or Passat. I mean, they both based on the same chassis, but this one's a 2.0 turbo, and got to do a water pump, man. You know, shout out to the Germans. They definitely know how to put a car together, because in a normal car, a water pump would be over here, maybe under the valve cover, timing cover. But in this car, the water pump is under here, way under there somewhere. So we got to take the intake off and some other things. This is gonna be a challenge, but you know what? As long as I got my We Do It All family here, we gonna get it done together. So I'm gonna start out by this cover. It just comes off. I already took it off, but it just pops off. It's got 4 little clips. So that's the easy part. Easy part's out the way. Now we gotta focus on this intake right here. But before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this box. Get all this out of my way, because this is a turbo, so it's got a little bit more hoses than normal. So I'm gonna take this box out, and this is attached, but anyway, we're gonna get all this out. Looks like I got a clamp here. Let me get my little flashlight. Like I got a bolt. Oh, if you don't have Torx in your life, don't work on these German cars, because everything on here is Torx, just about. If you look at all these Torx, in the intake, everything is Torx. All right. So you got to have Torx if you want to work on these. So anyway, take them 2 clamps out. Like I said, I got a bolt down there. What else we be looking at? I'm gonna take this hose off, and hopefully she'll come out after that. All right. So I'm about to go ahead and do that. And if there's any progress or anything that I missed through the process, then I'll come back. And people, if you got a car that has shocks that hold up the hood, do people like me a favor. If they go out, just replace them. Because I hate to have to cut a piece of wood to hold your hood up. But yeah, I mean, this hood is held up with a shock, so it would be nice if people would think about the people that have to work on these cars and replace the shocks when they go out. All right, back with a quick tip. If you have these types of connectors, hold on, let me put a light on it. These type of connectors, all you got to do is press them in from the side and pull them out. All right, they just pressure release. They got the little tabs on both sides. Just press them in and pull them out. So just a quick tip if you run into that issue, because this car seems to have a lot of those types of connections on them. All right, so I got the bolt removed out of this box, and then I noticed that in this box right here, let me see if I can get y'all in here. There's 2 Torx. Okay, let me show you this one. There's 2 Torx down here. There's one here. I don't know if you can see it. And there's one on the other side. So those definitely have to come out. Okay, let me see. Sorry, right here. Great. Light fell. But anyway, so those 2 Torx got to come out. For the big bolt in the middle, I used a what size is this Torx? T30. And then those down there are probably going to be the same size. So T30 looks like is what we're going to start with, and it's probably going to continue throughout this whole video. All right, so the 2 bolts I showed you are T25. So T30 for the big dog down there, and for these 2 up here on this box is T25. And I need to put my gloves on because I'm getting my hands dirty. I ain't even done nothing yet. I'll be back. All right, so got the box out, and automatically I'm leaking antifreeze. There was a hose attached, and I'll show you this hose. This hose right here was attached to here. So I had to take this hose out, and so just make sure that if you pull this hose off, that you have a pan or something under the vehicle so you can catch all the antifreeze that comes out. I'm just gonna store it over here. But yeah, here's the box that came out as one piece. So there it is. So part one, done. All right, so now we got a better view of what we're looking at. And if you look down here, you can kind of see the water pump. Water pump is right there, right here, or in that area anyway. It looks like it. But yeah, so in order to get to that, this has to come off. So we're not gonna focus on the water pump. We're gonna focus on this intake. A lot of different lines and things of that nature, it seems like. So I'm gonna just start by removing everything up here. We'll get these hoses. I'm not gonna take this off, but I'll take these hoses off. There's a hose here, there's a connector here. All right, there we go. Let me get you a little light. So this hose, this connector, and this connector, and down here, take that one out. Yeah, and then we'll just start releasing stuff slowly and methodically from up here. So I'm gonna put the camera down and take some things apart, and then I'll come back and let you know what I did. All right, so haven't really done anything yet, but I did notice we got this big hose down here. I believe it goes to the turbo, and it's definitely connected to the intake. So next thing I'm gonna do is take this hose off. Took these connectors out up here, no big deal. Just press down, pull them out. But now I'm gonna work on this hose and get that hose off of there. It's just two flatheads and oil filters up here. It seems to be in the way, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that off also. So next step is the hose and the oil filter. All right, so with the oil filter off, it kind of gives us access to some bolts that are in there, so that's a good thing. The oil filter is kind of strange the way it's put in, but I appreciate them. Makes oil changes a lot easier. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off here. Some hoses that run down, but it's definitely onto the intake, and anything that's connected to the intake is what I'm working on right now. So let me pull this off. There's a bolt here and there's a bolt under here, so I'm gonna pull those off and I'll be back. All right, so got those bolts removed. Kind of loosen this harness right here. I'm not gonna take these hoses off yet, but I may have to. We'll see. Now we can focus on the top of the intake, and as you can see, doesn't look to be a whole lot left, but we'll see. Now I got a fuel line right here that connects down here, so I'm definitely about to remove that, and then I'll start taking these bolts out. So there's one, see if you see my fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 bolts up here that seems like they hold the intake on the top, and then there's some bolts on the bottom. They actually look like 12mm bolts on the bottom. So yeah, once I and I'm gonna put something over this oil, where this oil filter was. I'm gonna stick a rag over it. I don't want to get any dirt in there. But yeah, once I take this fuel line off, I'm gonna start releasing these bolts, and then we'll see what we got from there. All right, fam, I ask for your forgiveness. I got to working and I completely forgot about the video, so please forgive me. But I'll just run you through this real quick. You had, what is that, 5 bolts on the top, and then you have 4 on the bottom. This was a 10, and then two T25s or 26s right there. And then all these wires on the front, I had to disconnect them, and I'll go over and show you here. Okay, so this is the intake. It came out with the injectors. So we'll make sure we clean those injectors before we put them back in. So if you're looking at the car, all right, if you're looking at the car, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, those 5 bolts are, I think, T30s to take those out. Then on the bottom, on the fuel rail, you got a bolt here. That's a 10. I'm trying to get it in the light so y'all can see better. Okay, got a bolt here. That's a 10. And then you have one on this side. That's also a 10. And you have 2 in the middle. Let me turn this so you can see it. Sorry. 2 in the middle, right here. It's a T26. And then the other one, I don't know if you can see it. Light right there. It's a T26. So the trick to getting those is there's a hole. If you just remember, we're looking at the intake. There's a hole right here to get the T26, and the other hole right there. So you can get both of those T26s through those holes right there. All right. And then this bracket, you can actually take this right behind the alternator. Right behind the alternator. It's a T35, I believe. So once again, we're looking at the intake. It's right behind the alternator. You can take this out without taking this one off if you just take this T35 out on that bracket. Didn't have to release the injectors at all. Once you get it out, you're gonna have to put a little pressure on it, okay? But you don't want to put too much pressure on it, and just wiggle it back and forth, and it'll start to separate. Once it starts to separate, stop, and you'll see this harness right here. You have, we're looking at it again from your view, looking at the car. This has to come off. This wire, big wire, has to come off. I just stuck a screwdriver in the back of it and pulled it out, and it came. And then these 2 wires have to come off. And we disconnected those earlier in the video. So like I said, I apologize. I just got going and I completely forgot to stop the video. But the intake is out. This literally took me about an hour and 20 minutes to get the intake out. Got to make sure these wires are disconnected. There's also a wire that goes into the water pump. I believe it's the temperature sensor. That has to be disconnected. So once you start pulling this out, stop and start looking around, and you'll see wires that need to come apart. But other than that, it was pretty straightforward. Please forgive me. Like I said, I didn't mean to jump so far ahead, but I got to working and got in the zone. So we'll go back over here to the car now. So the intake is off, as you can see, and here's your water pump right here. So to take it off, I'm looking around, and it looks like I got a bolt here. I got one here that I have to get from the bottom. I got one here, and there's one down here. So we'll get those out, get this hose off. This hose, if you get a screwdriver and stick it in here and pry back, that clip will come off, and that'll allow you to remove that hose from there. And I'll see what else I have to do from that point. But we're here, and slowly but surely, but we're here. All right, y'all. So what I did up to this point, this cover right here, okay, it goes in front of the water pump, and there's 2 bolts that hold it in. There's one on the top. Actually, there's just one bolt. I'm sorry, one bolt. I took one out that I didn't need to. There's one bolt that holds it in. It slides up. You can see there's a belt. This belt is kind of loose, so all you need to do is slide that belt off, And then I took off these two hoses at the bottom, which I already told y'all about, with the clips in them. Just pry the clips back and the hoses come right off. So now we'll slide this belt off. I'm sorry, I thought I was showing that. Okay, so I just slid that belt off. And now I'll take the bolts out and I should be able to remove the water pump. This, I believe, pops out, but I've got to cut this, I've got to cut that zip tie first to see, but I'll let y'all know. All right, so there was actually a bolt in the bottom that I had to take out, so I took that bolt out and this came right out. So now that kind of gives you a better picture. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we look at the new one, probably would have told us a little bit better. So when we look at the new one here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like we got 5 to take out on the new one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, 5's down there. So get those taken out and get the water pump off. Once you take those bolts off, you come back a little bit and slide it out, and there's your water pump. So it was a little journey, but we got it. And I just want to thank you guys for taking this journey with me. Like I said, I apologize for not getting the whole video, but sometimes you get tunnel vision. That happened to me this time. But if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I'll gladly answer any questions you guys have. So like, comment, subscribe, please, and thank you once again for supporting We Do It All and all we do. There's your water pump. Like, comment, subscribe. $, impaladreams is a Cash App if you guys want to donate to the channel. And in order to alleviate things like this happening, maybe I can get a camera with a tripod and set it up, and that way nothing will be forgotten. So y'all want to help me out with that, it'd be greatly appreciated. Remember, $, impaladreams is a Cash App if y'all want to donate. All right, once again, thank you, We Do All family. I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna go ahead and clean everything up and put it back together. Hopefully get this car on the road.